Hello everyone, my name is Jaybird and welcome back to AIRIS. Yeah, without any further ado, let's just jump into it. Teddy, no! Give that back!
Mine now. Finders keepers, remember?
I can't help but laugh at the absurdity of her words as I wrestle with her to retrieve my chocolate bar. Oh, you can't fucking let your fucking pet bear eat your chocolate? That's awful. Oh, I would murder that bear if she took my chocolate. Hell, no one be taking my chocolate. Hell nah, I ain't having that shit. I need my chocolate. You didn't find it, you snatched it from my hands.
Same difference.
I knew a guy. I knew a guy. Yes. I knew a single guy. No, 2 years ago, when I was a sophomore, I sat at this table at lunch with my senior friend, and one of her senior friends or guys. I don't know if he was her friend or not. But he would always say same difference all the time. Man, I miss those guys. It's so sad making senior friends because it's like as soon as they graduate, you're like alone, or you're mostly alone. And then you'd like mention to your other younger friends about this one person, and they don't know who the fuck you're talking about because they weren't there, and you just feel dead inside. I also knew a fuckboy. That was another one of her friends. Huh. Damn. Anyways, it's not the same difference at all.
You know, I wouldn't have minded as much if you were planning on sharing. But no, you had to be selfish about it and hug it all to yourself.
I'd have shared it with you if you hadn't made a habit out of swindling me out of my portion too all the time.
Portion. You don't know what you're freaking talking about.
I thought that said freaking. So I'm like, what?
Whatever. You don't know what you're talking about.
Teddy, give it back! The doorbell rings and I jolt up. Who could it be? Lyle? Kylan? Evra? I'm gonna guess Lyle. Yeah! Could Lyle already be back? No. Impossible. They left only an hour or so ago to talk to whatever boss they said they had at the castle, and it's a 20-minute distance each way. Frowning, I hop down the couch and head to the door when I hear a coughing sound from behind me. I whirl around. Teddy! The perpetrator's paws and snout are covered in open, smeared chocolate. Teddy has smooshed and gobbled up the entire chocolate bar, only to choke on it. As soon as she recovers and I'm perfectly sure she's alright, I begin to chortle. Ha! Serves you right, you greedy bear. Did you even get to enjoy the chocolate? Savor the taste? Teddy scowls at me and I grin victoriously. It's a pity I couldn't have it myself, but at least I'm not the only one suffering for it. It's silly how immature I'm being right now, but somehow hanging out with Teddy brings out the childishness in me, and it's relaxing to be so carefree and unreserved. My glee is sabotaged by continued knocks on the door, growing louder by the second. With a satisfied smirk, I turn back around and open the door crack, enough only for me to see the guest. When I do, I can't conceal my surprise. Kylan? Ah, it was Kylan! Ah! What are you doing here? I wanted to hang out, see how you were getting along. As happy as I am to see him, memories from the day of the attack at the towns flood back and bombard my head. The way he was simply collecting animal remains at such a wretched place and time, almost as if he didn't care about the attack, the deaths. No, I'm sure he had a reason for being there, even if he won't tell us.
He's trying to find a cure to the plague, Aelia. You're welcome. I thought I told you this before, but just in case you need a reminder. Love you.
Even so, given my ignorance, it's hard to look at him in his eyes without flinching. He opens his mouth to speak again, probably to ask for an invite inside. Why is Kylan suddenly here? What should I do? Ask him why he's here, welcome him in warmly, tell him to state his business outside. Tell him, we have to tell him to state his business tell him to state his business outside. I'm sorry, I don't know why you're here, but could you tell me what you need outside and leave? Oh, how cold. I thought we were getting on close terms. I thought so too, but I feel like there's a lot you're not telling me. I don't think secrecy is a good foundation for a friendship. What is your friend What is that what your friend told you to tell me? My friend? Lyle? I don't see what they have to do with any of this. Why do you two hate each other so much anyway? Well, that's quite a long story. I don't need to hear it then. What do you need? I already told you. I came here because I wanted to talk to you about anything. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't know. Come on, Alia. Don't you remember why I retired? I'm injured. I won't be able to harm you unless you let me. Unless I let you? If we're talking about intents, of course I don't want to harm you at all. Fine. Come right in. Are you sure about that? Tell me. You guys know what's wrong with this, right? You see why? I guess the people who made the game really like Kylan's name a lot because they put it fucking everywhere. They put it for King Leo sometimes, and now I'm sorry, I'm gonna take a screenshot because this is a glorious moment. I wanna read it. I'm gonna read it in Kylan's voice because it says Kylan right there, so I mean, like, why not? This shit fucking throws me off, I swear to God. Kylan gives me a relieved smile as I open the door wider. And I'm gonna read it normally. I can't! It's throwing me off so much! I can't believe it. Oh my God, fucking breathe and fucking breathe. Kylan gives me a relieved smile as I open the door wider. God damn. He plops down right beside Teddy on the couch, and she pouts at him, wary. So how have you been lately? Fine, good, tired. You? Fine, good, tired. Those are 3 contradictory words, you know. What the fuck? Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone for, like, the guide, and I got, like, a little notification. That doesn't make them mutually exclusive. What about you, though? Fine, good, tired as well. Thanks for asking. Have your blackouts eased at all? I bite my lip, wondering if I should tell him the truth. Shaking my head, I decide against it. He may not be of immediate harm, and my lack of control over my body may not be something he can hold against me, but we're not close enough that I feel comfortable dampening the mood with such talk. It's been the same as usual. Is that so? Alia. Yeah? Has Lyle done anything atypical around you that they wouldn't normally have? Huh? Not that I know of. Why? Did they heal any significant injuries? No. Why do you ask? Were you ever injured severely as a result of them? What? No, of course not. I'm impressed you'd even suggest such a thing. Don't take that as a compliment. Apologies. I didn't mean to attack the character. I meant even incidents such as, have you recently injured yourself significantly while trying to protect them? No, and this conversation is going nowhere. Why are you asking me all of this? I thought you felt like being social. This feels like an interrogation. That's not what I mean. That's not what I meant to do. Yeah, well, yeah, I've gathered that much. What's going on, Kylan? I'm just worried about you. I overheard snippets of conversation between you and Lyle, and you seemed rather concerned. Oh. By the weapon shop? That was quite a while ago. The weapon shop? Yes, of course. You could have told me that from the beginning, you know. How much did you hear anyway? You clearly didn't hear all of it if you're fumbling so badly. Sorry about that. I wasn't intentionally eavesdropping, so I only picked up on the barest bits. There's yet another series of knocks on the door, and I grunt, too lazy to move back to the door. Who is it this time? Do you mind getting it, Teddy? Teddy?
I'm your bear, not your servant.
Same difference. You're a bear who stole my chocolate bar. I feed you day to day regardless of the chocolate, too. You ought to pay me back somehow.
I attack monsters for you.
Pretty please?
Buy me another chocolate bar.
For opening the door. Kylan chuckles at her banter before lifting himself up. I'll get it. I blink, surprised despite myself. Oh, no, you're a guest. I couldn't let you... But he's fast. Oh! Hey, he's just like Matthew in this situation. God, oh my god. I love it when my games bleed into each other. It's great. It's like, hey! And he opens the door before I finish speaking. The atmosphere chills immediately. I realize who stands on the other side of the door before I look. It's Lyle. Hey! I was fucking right. What are you doing here? I'm visiting a friend. What about you? A friend? Since when are the two of you friends? We're close acquaintances, at least. Isn't that right, Alia? Mother of souls, don't drag me into your petty little feuds. I think... Alia, are you alright? Did he do anything to you? Trust me, Lyle, I'm perfectly fine. I can protect... I think I'm less of a harm to her than you are. What's that supposed to mean, you imbecile? I don't know why you keep approaching Alia of all people, but I know who you are, and I won't let you... What? Can two people be friends without being threats to each other? That's not what I mean, and you know it. I roll my eyes. This is giving me a headache. I wish I could at least pretend they were two poor suckers in love with me, fighting over my hand in marriage, but no. Well, I mean, now that you bring it up, I can pretend, so, yeah. It's blatantly obvious that they're just projecting their hatred of each other onto me to justify the quarrels. Oh, okay, yeah. You have a point there, Alia. And romance with either of them sounds inconceivable. But it's happened. At least with Kylan, but we're on Lyle right now, so just letting you know, Alia. Love you. I love it. I don't know if you guys hate it or love it when I do that. I don't even know. I like doing that so much. It's fun. I barely know Kylan, but it's clear he's untrustworthy. I'd have doubts about him even if Lyle weren't whispering worries in my ear every passing second. Meanwhile, Lyle has been my best friend for years now, and romancing them sounds bizarre. Kylan, as much as I'd love to have you here, Lyle and I were planning on hanging out together since before you showed up. If you guys don't feel comfortable being around each other, perhaps you could return some other time.
Agreed. The two of your whining gives me migraines.
Ha! Alright, but let me tell you one thing. You shouldn't trust your friend too much. They and their king may know more about those conditions of yours than they let on. Who knows? Perhaps they're partially responsible for it. Get out, Kylan. You seem nice and all, but I can't believe you're bad-mouthing my best friend in both of our presence. I'm not bad-mouthing them. I'm stating facts. You're lying. No, I'm pretty sure he's telling the truth. Lyle has been going through the exact same things as me. There are a lot of things, but I don't think they're quite as masochistic as they may look. Oh, are you saying Lyle looks like a masochist, Alia? That kind of implies that, as they may look, and I see no reason why they willingly relinquish control over their own body. My attempt at injecting levity into this incredulous situation falls flat. Maybe you don't know your friend nearly as well as you think. Am I lying, Lyle? I look at Lyle square in the face. I've known them for years now, and I know all the telltale signs of when they're lying. I highly doubt you're innocent yourself. Is he lying, Lyle? Well, yes. I don't know. I don't think he knows what he's talking about. He's incredibly confused and foolish, that's what I think. It's a yes or no question. Is he lying, Lyle? I almost don't want them to answer, but because I dread the truth, or what must be the truth, considering their attempts at evasion, I swallow. Not exactly, no, but I can explain. You've known all along what's been causing my blackouts? The lack of control over my own body? I can explain, Elliot. It's a long story. Yes or no? Question. The words come out of me in gasps, and before I know it, I'm clenching onto the back of the couch, my knuckles turning white and red. Yes. I'm sorry. And have you been causing them? Not exact. Yes. My stomach churns, and there's a choking sensation in my throat. I fumble for any coherent response, and I love how Kylan's just sitting there, smiling. He's like, normal, it's just a normal day, and just a normal day in the life of Kylan. Yes. And Teddy's just like, I want no chocolate. I can't believe this. I don't even know how to react to this. How am I supposed to react to this? I'm disappointed in them. I've been a fool. Do they have any decent reason? Do they even have any half decent reason? Do they have any half decent reason? I have to ask this. Did they at least cause this for some magnificent reason that even Eve wouldn't be able to criticize? Like, I don't know, saving AIRIS or something? I don't know if something like that would help me feel any better, but it might. But I doubt such a reason exists. Why do you keep saying but? If there really was one, why wouldn't I have been told something long in advance? With a sigh, I decide it doesn't matter. Oh, get out. Alia. I collapse to the couch in exasperation, and Teddy comes to my rescue.
Do you not understand, Arian? Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! I'm a fucking bear!
I lift Teddy to my chest in a tight bear hug, silently thanking her for kicking them out when I lacked the energy to whisper another word. Lyle apologizes once more, and the two of them stumble out, glancing back at me one last time. I love Teddy so much.
Get the fuck out!
Sorry. Ignoring Lyle's desperate, anguished expression. How dare they when I'm the victim here? I snuggle up with Teddy, who for once makes no attempt at feigned retaliation and ball. Aw. Now that makes me sad. Hey, have you... The bearded man in front of Teddy and me chuckles, interrupting me with a response before I can even ask my questions.
Do you dealt with any blackouts? Nope. Had any friends act suspicious? Nope. Had any strange hallucinatory effects on or heard anything bizarre that nobody else heard? Let me see. Definitely not. Sorry, hun. Best of luck with whatever you're doing.
My mouth dams shut, and he laughs some more at what I assume is the flabbergasted expression on my face.
You've been looking here non-stop for white. For white a few days, lass.
Oh, I guess I should be doing this within a weird accent. You've been lurking here non-stop for what a few days, lass. Ever asking everyone the same questions over and over again. White. White a few days. That's a white a few days! Not quite, but white. That's white a few days.
I heard you asking that group over there.
He points to the crowd of adventurers by the guild before returning to his words.
But frankly, I'd have known your questions even if I hadn't. Rumors are flying about the poor little lass with a bear who seems a bit too knocked up on drugs.
Oh, I frown, my foot tapping on the floor. I see. Rumors though, huh? Have you heard anyone assenting to my questions though? Saying they've experienced the same things?
Apologies, but no. A few of my friends and I have been getting rather disoriented lately, if that counts, but that's probably a result of drinking too much. Well, I'll keep you in mind and look for you if I do hear something relevant. But I'd be careful, lass. If you're taken as illegal.
I suck at a tooth, irritated, and my words come out choppy and distant. Trust me, it's not. I'm not doing drugs, period. The royal medic herself knows about my, disorder. He doesn't seem to believe me, but he doesn't seem to argue either.
If you say so.
I turn around and return yet again to the bulletin boards, scrutinizing them for what seems like the 100th time this week for anything potentially relevant. Nothing. I've learned nothing from prompting guildmates either. A decent number of people claim to have been rather disoriented lately, while a number of others have had minor blackouts, though only rarely. Nobody's had their self-control wrenched from them. My only saving grace is the idea that those who have experienced such things are probably unlikely to reach out to me about it, since it achieved nothing other than ousting them for potential judgment from peers. So at least there's that minuscule negligible chance. Fuck, why can't I say words sometimes? That I'm not alone in this, after all, even if their silence doesn't help me. I sigh as I tread outside the guild hall for the day.
Ailey, I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. None of this is your fault.
I'm going to punch that stupid Lyle the next time they show up. Show up.
For a moment, I'm instinctively about to stop her, but my shoulders soon droop as I realize there's no point. It's not like I don't think the punch would be deserved, although part of me wants to punch them myself. Then again, there's nothing wrong with both of us punching it. There's nothing wrong with both of us punching them. They deserve that too. Hesitantly, Teddy chimes back in, her voice low and hoarse, almost a whisper.
Are you going to keep trying to seek answers here? If I didn't think you knew it well enough yourself, I'd be nagging you on what a waste of time that is.
I know, but would you be able to stop in my shoes? I haven't a lead, not one.
That's exactly why you should stop. This feels like deja vu, you know. The same thing happened last time when Lyle disappeared. Your efforts proved pointless and Lyle reappeared on their own time and place. This time the answers will show up on their own regardless of your further efforts. You've done enough.
Unwilling to argue with her, I decided to change the topic with a question I've been unwilling to ask. Do you think it's true? I don't have to clarify for Teddy to immediately understand my question. Of course I don't.
Well, I'm the last person. I'm the last person who'd know, don't you think?
She evades my gaze and I grunt. It's not like there was really a point to asking. Lyle as good as admitted to it himself back in my living room. I've been endlessly looking for ways to deny the truth, but to no avail. Perhaps they were confused, caught up in the hectic mood of the argument. Perhaps they have nothing to do with this after all, but the tensions got to their head and they deluded themselves into admitting to a crime they knew nothing about. Perhaps, but it makes no sense. Does it really not? It's something I hate to think about, but the realization has nagged at me for so long now. There's strange but frequent visits to the castle. The king as their employer. Can't believe they never told me any of this. I can't believe they experimented on me without my knowledge or consent. Because that's exactly what they did, isn't it? My only consolation is that whatever they did to me, Lyle thought it was safe enough to try it on themselves. And they didn't wait for me to first prove that it was safe, either considering Lyle was possessed too the first time I lost control over my body. Why me? Teddy shrugs, leaving me to my own jumbled thoughts. She reaches up and out to hold my hand, but it doesn't offer as much comfort as it should. Fuck. Was the possession what Lyle's boss ordered them to do? I was the person closest to them, the person they could constantly both alter and watch without causing doubts or worry. How long has Lyle been doing whatever they've been doing to me? Since the start of our friendship? Were the impacts just late to show up? No, it can't possibly have been that long, right? Impossible. The idea chokes me, fills me with dread. In a perfect world, I'd be able to report Lyle's actions and experiments to the king or royal guard or something, and they'd interrogate them, search for justice. In this world, nothing of the sort will happen. Who knows how much the guards know and are willing to perpetuate. I don't even know who Lyle's boss is, and it's possible that it's someone close to the king himself, whom I have no way of defending against if it comes to that. Ailey, a hand on my shoulder. I whip around, preparing for defense. When I see the person behind me, my muscles fumble in the air briefly as I fail to decide whether I want to fight, flee, or stay still and be civil. Whoa, I won't hurt you.
Speak of the devil, of course they show up now.
I bite my lip to force in a gasp as I look at them. Tear stains dirty their face, their eyes are bloodshot, and there are deep, purpling dark circles from their eyes to their cheeks, so opaque I almost can't believe they're not painted on. Oh shit, well I guess he's been crying a lot, or they've been crying.
That's rich, coming from someone who's already hurt her plenty.
Yet I can't forget the betrayal, and the lies, and there's no way I can act normal, friendly around Lyle the way I would have only a few days ago. Teddy's not wrong. They falter, their expression wounded. I'd feel it well deserved if it weren't for how messed up they look. God! Realizing how upset my own face must look, I force a smile that it must look as strained as it feels. Why are you here? Because I'm sorry. I really am, although I don't know how I can show it. If I can show it. I don't know how to make things up to you, but there's so much I need to say. I understand if you won't forgive me, and I understand if our friendship's ruined, but I don't want to walk away without at least trying to mend things first, if only a little. You're talking in circles. Lyle takes a deep breath to steady himself. I hear you've been asking for answers. I have them. A bark of laughter, more sad than joyful, somehow escapes me. That's rich. You expect me to believe you'll just hand me all the answers. We are friends, Elia. Okay, maybe not. I've betrayed your trust. That's true. Even so, even if you don't think the same of me anymore, you are my friend, my best friend. There are things you want to know that I do know, and if you're willing to listen to me, I'm willing to tell you everything. Everything? Everything I know about the blackouts and the king's plans. I don't know if your filter has weakened enough that you'll hear what I have to say, but if it hasn't, I'll come back tomorrow to repeat my story. And if I fail tomorrow, I'll come the day after that, until you understand my words. What in the what was what? Not here. I can't tell you anything here. We'll have to go to your home or hide somewhere or something, anything. Secrets, huh? If I couldn't tell you a few days ago, I certainly can't tell the town today. I still shouldn't even be revealing a thing to you, although I will. Don't worry about that. I don't think you want to know all that I might say, but it's your choice to make. I almost correct them, since I certainly do want to know everything they've been hiding from me, but now's not the time to argue semantics. How do I know that you're telling the truth? You've always said I was a bad liar, or at least that you could tell when I was lying. Same thing in the end. I don't know you at all anymore. I thought I could tell, but you sure as hell have been keeping things from me that I know. Would you believe me if I said I was sorry?
Now it's a bit too late to apologize.
I take a deep breath and glance at Teddy, who crosses her arms. Alright, let's head to my place. If you lie to me, or if you try to conceal anything, I won't. I don't know if I trust those words, but it's not like I know of any interrogation techniques. We head to my home, Lyle trailing behind Teddy and me like a prisoner. It feels awkward not having them by my side, but it feels even more awkward. It feels wrong to slow down for them. Rather, Teddy speeds up as we continue, pulling me along by my hand, and I let her. Okay. As soon as we're inside, I slump down onto the couch further from the door and gesture towards the couch in front of me. Lyle nods and sits there, while Teddy plops down right next to me. For a moment, all three of us are silent. So, I thought you were going to tell me what in the world is going on. When are you going to start? I know. I just don't know how to start. There's a lot to say. I have a lot of time to listen, and I don't expect a well-edited epic from you. Start wherever. I'll follow eventually. Lyle leans down and holds their head in their hands. Well, Lyle suddenly gasps before turning their gaze towards Teddy. Teddy.
Yes, I'm here. No, I don't plan to leave anytime soon.
Lyle sighs and shakes their head. You understand a thing I say.
I'm a bear, not stupid.
No, that's not it. Teddy, will you please promise me you won't interrupt?
Excuse me?
You won't hear what I'm really trying to say.
What kind of witchcraft are you planning on using?
It's not me. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. Lyle, what in the world are you going on about? Teddy, please promise me you won't interrupt unless you absolutely have to. You can't shut up Teddy like that. Alia, please, Alia. It'll make sense once I explain.
I'm giving you 20 minutes of silence to give Alia the gist of everything. Good enough?
Great, that's far more than I expected. Thank you.
Well,
oh shit. Well, I should start my explanation. First off, what I've done to you has been an attempt at fixing the issue of your lack of self-control rather than inducing it. What's that supposed to mean? It's a long story. I'll get to it in a bit. The employer I mentioned before who lives in the castle, I was talking about the king. What? I'm not lying, Alia. Believe me, I wouldn't. The identity of my employer is also the least of our worries. Why I'm saying this is, I want you to understand that everything's government-sponsored, government-led. If it hadn't been the king himself ordering me to act as I have, I assure you that I wouldn't have done anything to you, and I certainly would have asked you first. I'd have ensured you were in the know about everything. Alright. Go on, though. I want facts, not justifications. Of course. Well, first off, the medic knows what's going on. What? She's one of the head overseers of everything. She has to be. So that's why you kept trying to warn me that meeting with her wouldn't do me any good, even if I managed to find a spot in her schedule? Yes, exactly. Due to her inability to tell you the truth, she may have seemed incompetent, but I assure you she's the best of the best at her job. So most of the things, if not everything, she said to you regarding your condition would have been a lie. You've never hallucinated, as far as I know, and if you have, it has nothing to do with any actions on our end. What? I stopped to think and realized how much that makes sense. I was such a fool. She was so obvious. But how was I supposed to know that some woman I'd never met before in my life, someone so lauded who'd have no cause to even know my name, would have been instrumental behind my issues? That explains her incompetency. What exactly is she key to, though? I'm getting there. They attempt to smile, but it comes out more like a grimace. I'm no storyteller myself.
Itchy. Nothing. I'm good. Okay.
As for the blackouts and people saying strange things to you, yes, I was behind that. I deflated their admission as well as the flat, dejected tone in which they're saying it. But why? What's the point? For AIRIS. Everything I've done has been for our Lord and for our nation. Ravaged as she is by monsters, she's still my home. She's precious to me. I'll gladly give up everything I have, everything I am, to protect her from enemies and to further her goals. I'm only sorry that you had to be involved too. But do my blackouts have anything to do with protecting AIRIS? You're dancing around the topic, but that's not going to do you any good in the end. You're going to have to tell me what's going on regardless. That's the part I'm afraid you don't want to know. Oh, please. You may be or have been my best friend, but I dare say I know myself better than you do or ever will. I do want to know. Tell me. That. Their breath catches in their throat, but they continue. Do you remember anything at all about your deal with the king? My deal? What deal? I've never even met the king, except from a distance. I see, you don't remember. I wasn't sure whether or not you did, since we don't know the full effects of the magic. Don't remember what? Did I have another blackout when I met the king? No, don't worry. You're not supposed to remember. You made a deal with the king years ago, but it's been erased from your memory. Erased from my memory? That's the most ridiculous thing I've heard. Anyway, a deal? What kind of deal would I have to make with the king, of all people? How am I supposed to approach this? It wasn't too long after you lost your home and fled here to the capital city. Do you remember that incident? The incident, huh? That's what you're calling it? The first thing that springs to my mind is my strange experience with my memories back when Lyle and I were saving a town from monsters recently. Right now, however, I feel only drained at the mention of it. The memory comes to me as a hazy blur. A mental barrier pushes back at any and all attempts to remember it clearly. The memory of it isn't very clear, is it? And although it would have been an incredibly traumatic event, it hardly impacts your daily life. A flashback will hit you occasionally, but even then you can usually put it aside pretty easily and forget about it for a long, long time. I almost ask them why they're acting like that's not normal, catching myself barely in time. It sounds absurd in retrospect that such terrible memories could be so easily overlooked. Am I heartless? How could I never have noticed? That was part of the deal, the king's part. The royal magicians would use magic, the kind most of us don't even have access to fog up your memories of the incident and ensure you would never care or remember to focus on it. The deal is why we don't have hundreds of walking time bombs inside the capital alone. Trauma can create monsters of the best of us, and it's impossible to know when a person with a past as wretched as some will snap and destroy everything around them. The memory lock may be a good thing for the best of us. It's why many of us agreed to the deal in the first place. Wait, what do you mean hundreds of time bombs? I'm not the only one? No, you're not. There are over 100 people who have had who have made such contracts, though I don't know the exact number. Everyone who is a vassal of AIRIS has made the contract. So many. Nobody seemed to know anything about the blackouts, though. I'm getting to that. The deal doesn't cause the blackouts, although the blackouts are a reaction to the deal. You keep talking about a deal. No deal is one-sided. What did I offer in return? You can't tell me I offered him the right to experiment on me, though, through you. Not quite. You did agree to be altered. Altered? What's that supposed to mean? You agreed to be controlled by an outside force at their whim. They'd control your body for as long as they wanted, as often as they wanted. I don't remember anything of the sort. That's the point. The same kind of magic that allowed the king to cloud your memories of your past was also involved in ensuring that your memories of being controlled would be fogged up, while also making you believe the actions made by the controller were all of your own volition. It also prevented you from questioning anything odd with your memory, while altering or removing any memories and conversations that would reveal anything about what you were going through. That makes no sense. I don't believe you. Do I look like I'm lying, Alia? They look at me in the eyes, and it seems like the first time in so long that they haven't avoided my gaze. No, they seem like they're speaking the truth. While they've been acting incredibly nervous and anxious, they haven't revealed any of the telltale signs of lying that I've come to expect from them. But I don't know how much I can trust them anymore after all they've been keeping from me. And it's not like anything they're saying is particularly believable. Wait, we should just be able to ask Teddy. I don't know exactly how her filter will have worked, but it should have changed something. They turn to Teddy, whose eyes are glazed over with confusion. Hey, Teddy, what have Ailey and I been talking about all this time?
Why are you asking me that?
I'll buy you snacks if you answer me honestly.
I'm not that easy to bribe, you know, and your question is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
Please.
Well, sure, I guess. It's not because of the snacks or anything, but I'm not going to forget you owe me some now. You guys were planning future dungeon runs and thinking about dragging Eve along. Which is weird. Lyle, why did you beg me not to talk until prompted? This conversation isn't anything special.
You'll see. I flinch back, confused. Also, I just realized you're being uncharacteristically friendly to me.
What does that mean?
Teddy, do you remember Kylan and my recent argument?
I'm not a goldfish, Lyle. Of course I do. You guys fought over the best way to defeat monsters. Pfft. Kylan won that argument by a landslide.
What? This has got to be a joke. Are you in on this, Teddy?
In on what?
Alia, Teddy loves you. Do you think she'd trick you like this after she worried about you so much? Would she really want to play a prank on you after the huge argument we had? No, but... Teddy remembered the argument minutes ago. Why has she only forgotten it now? I assume it's because the argument has been resolved as a result of our discussing the truth about the filters in front of her. Belatedly altering those memories altogether was probably the simplest way for her filter to reconcile the memory of the argument with our current relative lack of antipathy. I can't believe this. To some extent, neither can I. Teddy's not related to this, though. Remember how I was the one who enabled Teddy to speak in our tongue? Yeah, of course I do. It would have overcomplicated things if she constantly saw and overheard and heard something different from you as a result of the filter. Wait, me? What about you? It's different for me. I don't have a filter on me for my daily life. It was voluntary. Given the nature of my job, my request to be aware of what's going on was heeded. The filter for when I was being controlled was cast on me, of course. The king didn't have a say over that. What I said about getting the blackouts and losing control of my body and all that weren't lies. Okay, well, who exactly are the controllers, and what do they want with me? I'm nothing special in the grand scheme of things. It's a game to them. What? Mother of Souls, you're not going to believe me. Nothing you've argued so far has been all that plausible. Trust me, whatever you say now won't shake me up any more than your words already have. Alright. There's a world out there called Earth, and we have been in communication with them for a while. They found us first, I think. The world is completely different. They have a completely different form of magic, one which we do not understand. Understand. I don't understand this. Understand. I believe they call their magic science. Science. I rolled the word around on my tongue. It feels strange.
Science.
And from what I've heard and discerned, their lives consist of sitting down and memorizing papers and numbers more so than, well, living like we do. Papers and numbers, that's... I know. Val groans and shakes her head. It sounds like a special kind of hell. So many of them are miserable in their lives, and getting to live the lives of others is evidently their only reprieve. Meanwhile, AIRIS needs manpower, because battles are a break, something fun to them. They don't exhaust of defending our home against monsters. In fact, they enjoy it. Well, for us, it's more a necessity and a way of living than anything. Almost a chore at times, and a tragedy when we don't succeed that only hampers us further and further. Furthermore, since they're fighting using our bodies as a channel, they don't suffer the consequences of pain and fatigue like we do. We become the perfect war machines under their control. So the trade-off was that we let a select group of people from their nation control a select group from ours. They'd get a break from their lives, while we'd get help fending off beasts. Ugh. At least that's how it was supposed to be. Things went wrong? Not exactly. Not yet. As it turns out, the government of the other world has had other motives in mind from the beginning. It's trying to make the override stronger, permanent, erase the sentience of the volunteers forever. It seems like they're hoping to affect more people as well, based on some of the strange deals they've been trying to make with the king and some of the changes that they have made with regards to their magic, although the latter hasn't been significant yet. We're not quite sure why, but we think it's because of AIRIS itself. The world seems lacking of certain resources that they think we have in abundance. Also, the animals themselves are of note to them, pharaohs they are. It seems the world is almost devoid of creatures. I don't know why, although it seems like they had a lot of creatures themselves a long time ago based on conversations I've overheard. They want to steal it all at the cost of the lives of those in AIRIS. Blackouts and other things that you've been a victim to have been an attempt at retaliating. In the long run, we'd like to reverse engineer the mechanism so that we can access their realm too, but I don't know that this is feasible, and the king seems to have given up on this idea. He raved about some portal and key for a long time, but one day he simply stopped. He wouldn't even respond to my questions about it, and he began treating the idea of a portal as the stuff of legends and legends only. Our primary goal is to sever their access to us so that they have to cancel their wretched plans. This is where you and I come in. Sorry it took me so long to get to this point.
Yeah, you're kind of hurting my throat there, Lyle. I'm not gonna lie. Oh god, my fucking throat is hurting! You don't know how hard it is to, like, gently whisper after a while, because then your fucking voice just dies. I thought you'd need the context first, but I might have gone overboard on the details.
No, it's fine. I appreciate it. I glance at Teddy, wondering how much time has passed and impressed by the fact that she's managed not to interrupt. However, she looks even more confused than I do. The king's been looking for as many methods as possible. The less invasive and the stronger the better, of course. I, along with a handful of others who work directly under the king, are the administrators of sorts, testers. We were ordered to test the latest method on the guild member closest to us, whom we could watch over near constantly. I spend almost all my time with you, though, and that's no secret. I didn't really get a choice. I tried choosing someone else, a guildmate named Echidna Enchilada. I don't know if you know her.
I think I do. Blonde, right?
Yeah, her. They immediately warned me about lying and consequences and the potential dangers of not being close enough to the target or not being able to watch the target thoroughly enough and all that. I had to choose you in the end. If it helps, you weren't in any danger.
How were you supposed to know that when we were the ones being tested on?
I ended up volunteering. They refused at first since it'd be a waste of resources and manpower to get someone to help watch over me, but eventually they allowed me to be the alpha tester who'd try out all the doses in advance. All I knew was that I didn't want you hurt as a result of me. That time when I disappeared was when we were trying out the newest dose. It backfired. I was crippled for a while. They fixed it, and I gave you the dose only after they tested it on me again without wielding negative side effects.
Oh, alright. Thank you, I think. I'm still not happy about having become a test rat without my knowledge, but I guess they do deserve a thanks for the damage control.
You said the medic started speaking strangely when you switched, right? And I'm sure you remember the shopkeeper had behaving oddly too.
What was that about?
Everyone who is in a vassal knows about the overrides, even if they don't know all the details behind it, and they can tell when someone is being controlled. Our brooches, for one. Have you noticed them glowing?
Yeah, so that means we're being controlled?
Lyle nods. Everyone has a script they're supposed to follow when they're speaking to a controller. They have to sound fake. Many of the controllers are trying to escape reality, and if our world feels too real to them, they won't be as eager to defeat the monsters or visit for that matter. Whatever the medic said to you while your brooch was glowing was probably whatever her script told her to say.
Okay.
Finally, as for Kylan, I should probably also explain why I'm so antagonistic towards him.
I've wondered about it, yeah. You're saying he's related to this mess?
Related? Huh. He's one of the people at the center of it all. He's been spearheading the conversations with Earth himself. I don't know much about him, admittedly. What I do know is that he's some sort of traitor to the crown, and that he knows some way of communicating with the Earthlings. He knows full well what the government of Earth is really planning. He probably supports it.
No, he doesn't. Not really. Lau spits out those words almost vehemently, and if what they say is true, I don't blame them. My jaw goes slack. That's impossible.
Impossible, Aelia. Think about it. Isn't he suspicious? We saw him at the town when we were trying to protect it. He wasn't with us, fighting the monsters and defending the victims. He was doing something to the beasts. Something strange, but definitely nothing related to our duty.
He's trying to cure the plague, Lyle. Love you.
I nod. I suppose there's a lot about him that's suspicious, if I really think about it.
I wish I knew more. The king almost told me more than he did, but he said I was getting too unreliable.
Unreliable? Lyle's eyes dart away, and if it weren't for the downtrodden slump in their shoulders, I'd say they almost look sheepish. They scratch their cheek.
Or at least we were partners, Elia. We've always protected each other in battles. I want to protect you from the king's whims too. I've made a lot of rash decisions recently as a result. I tried to form a response in my head, but I come up with nothing. A lasting, oppressing silence. Silence. Us fills the air. Silence fills. Silence us. What? Fuck. Silence us fills the air for a long, long time. What? I finally speak up. What feels like hours later. You're saying I volunteered to have my memories swiped and be controlled like a puppet. You're saying I volunteered to be ignorant. Yes, you did. All of us vessels really did. Was the homophone intentional? Don't answer me. Of course it was. From the look in Lyle's eyes, it's clear I'm right. I grow silent yet again as I mull over the implications, trying to sort out my chaotic emotions. How do I feel about all this? I wish I remembered making the vow. At least I'm helping AIRIS. I think I understand my past self. At least I'm helping AIRIS. That is what I'm supposed to say. I'm glad that if nothing else, I'm serving AIRIS. It's all I wanted in the end. To protect the people who we love and the nation we've been raised in. Lyle nods. It's the same for me. I stand up and pat my clothes absent-mindedly. Well, I think that's enough. Unless there's more you feel are important to say. Lyle shakes their head. No, there isn't.
If there is, I'm going to.
I pause, wondering what she thinks Lyle has been talking to me about all this time. But I can't bring myself to ask. I've already heard far too much about all this. Don't worry, Teddy. There's nothing more, I swear. Tentatively, I hold out a hand. Feels ridiculous, too distant, and yet I'm scared they'll turn away. I'm still mad at you for keeping everything bottled up, but I suppose there was a lot going on for you too. Our friendship feels almost shattered now from all the secrecy and reluctance, but that doesn't mean I can't be mended, right? So, truce? Lyle manages a small, sad smile. There's no way I'd refuse. Truce, of course. Again, I'm so... Stop apologizing and just promise me you won't keep anything from me from now on. I won't, I promise. Yay! Yay! Okay, I'm gonna fucking stop now because my voice fucking hurts. I can't keep doing loud. Oh my god. Oh my god, my throat is like dying right now from doing that for so long. God damn it. Skimming is probably not gonna help me, but fuck. Oh my god, my fucking cheeks hurt from talking so much. God damn. Oh my god. Oh, I'm dying. Anyway, guys, with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this episode of AIRIS and you wanted to see more, then leave a like down below. Leave a comment down below. Share with your friends. Subscribe if you haven't. Ring that notification bell. And remember, die safely. Bye-bye. I'm fucking dying.